This is episode 4 of the Budgie breeding room. I'm a day or two late putting this video up because usually when I would film it, which was just 2 days ago, I was really not well at all. So I'm recovered now, so first chance I've had to get out and film the latest update. So starting off with the birds in the flight, not much has changed. They're still looking pretty decent. We've not had any catastrophes, which is a good thing. I kind of was expecting something to go majorly wrong because, well, here in the UK and obviously here in Scotland, we've been getting temperatures of the last week or so dropping as low as -11, which is quite severe cold. Now, I keep my birds in a brick garage, which is brick on the outside and then breeze block on the inside, as you can see. And it's not the greatest at keeping the heat in, but then again in the summer it's also good for keeping the birds cool. So, you know, what you gain in one season you kind of lose in the other. But just to tell you how bad it was, the water was actually starting to freeze in here. A couple of times I had to come out and change it, so I was really quite concerned for the birds, but they seem to be okay. Just giving them plenty of food, plenty of seed, soft food, groats, stuff like that, high energy. So they all seem to have coped okay. But yeah, that was quite worrying. And with the cost of living crisis that's going on at the minute, I just couldn't afford to be putting a heater in. So to be honest with you, I was expecting something to go drastically wrong. But it didn't, so that was good news, that part. So it's supposed to warm up a bit. When I say warm up a bit, up to like 3 or 4 degrees, but that's, you know, a lot easier to deal with than what we've been getting. So yeah, just to show you the birds in the flight there. Some of them are having a bit of a sleep at the minute, but they're all in general good health, and much the same as they were in the last one. So that'll be that for the birds in the flight, and I'll move on to giving you an update on what's happening in the breeding cages. Well, unfortunately, breeding cage 1 is now empty. All the eggs were clear. Normally I would maybe let them try and go again, but because, as I said before, because of that horrendous weather we've been having, I just thought it was pretty pointless. You can't really expect birds to perform that well at that temperature. So yeah, unfortunately they've been split up and they are back in the flight. Breeding cage 2. We've got this sky blue opaline hen and the grey green cock, if you remember. I'll give you a wee look in at their chicks just now. There we are, all feathering up nicely. There was a concern with one of these chicks. It was one of the green ones, so it's quite hard to tell which one. It just seemed for the last couple of days, every time that I was going in and checking on it, it seemed to have a totally empty crop, like you know, the parents just weren't feeding it. I was starting to get quite concerned, but the bird itself didn't seem lethargic or anything like that. Everything seemed okay. And then one day I checked and it had been fed, so I can only presume that I've just been catching it at the wrong time. Maybe between feed cycles or something like that, because I am quite routine with the times that I come out and check them. But it's been fine since, so you know, that's only be a good thing. So I think it might have been this bird here actually, but I'll give you a bit of a look just now. So yep, these birds, we've got 3 greens and a grey, as you can see there. They're all coming along pretty nicely. 1 or 2 of them has ventured outside the nest box, but I've put them back in, obviously with it being so cold and stuff. There's the youngest one here, the little grey bird, quite small looking. We're obviously after something with a bit more substance about it, but they are only young at the minute, so we'll see how they develop. But yeah, as you can see, they're all doing really well, and I would imagine within the next week or so we'll probably get some venturing out again more and more often and starting to pick about and try and feed herself. So pair number 3, dark green opaline cock and opaline violet hen. If you remember in the last video we paired these guys up. We got the cockbird there for Jim Baird at the aviary visit. Good news and bad news with these birds. The good news is they've continued to get on really well and she has laid eggs, but the bad news is, unfortunately really bad news, I've bred off this hen before, and she's been fine with laying eggs, sitting, feeding young, she's done the job, so we know what she's like as a past breeder. Obviously with the cockbird we don't know. Jim did tell us that he's not been fortunate enough to get anything off him, but the bad news being that every time she laid an egg, now the first time I put it down to first couple of times I put it down to an accident, the third time I was like, no, definitely something gone wrong here. I'll try and show you if you can see in the floor of the cage. Now I don't know if you can I'll try and show you in the light, make that yellow staining out. You can see it there on that wee flake of sawdust. The cock's been smashing the eggs and what looks like eating them. Now I know that's not hard because we bred off her before, so not an ideal situation at all. I'm hoping to try and catch the eggs in time and foster them out, but the problem is he's so quick at it that I just don't know what to do. I mean, I don't want him destroying eggs. My other option is to try and take them out and put them in, you know, once a day for a couple of hours or so, but even at that, still quite a risk, it'll smash the eggs, but that's probably what I'm going to have to do. So it's a bit of a pain, but you know, what else can you do? You want to try and get what you can get out of them. They're nice birds, but aye, no good for that. But we'll see how we get on, and I will try that, and obviously hopefully have an update, a positive update for you in the next video on that one. But we'll move on to breeding cage 4 now. Right, breeding cage 4, if you remember, opaline sky blue hen and grey cock. Looking good, the pair of them, I have to say. So they had 3 fostered birds in there. Now you'll see here that there's only 2 in here. That's because the oldest one is now out feeding itself, so it's been moved to the nursery flight, which I'll get to shortly in the video. But she's still got 2 in the box, so I'm hoping that she'll be thinking about laying again shortly. Even though these were fostered ones, she's quite an inconsistent breeder. You usually get maybe 1 or 2 full eggs off her, so I'm hoping she lays eggs again. I actually might split them up and try him with a different hen or try a different pair. I've not decided yet. I'll make my mind up in a couple of days or so. But I'll just show you a closer look at these wee birds here. I'll catch one up and give you a better look. So as you can see, this youngster is looking quite good at the minute. The depth of mask looks quite good. He's got quite a nice head on him or her. I think it actually might be a hen at this minute in time. Sorry, that's coming in and out of focus there. I'll try and hold it there. So this will definitely be one that I'll probably be keeping and letting molt out and see how it progresses, because it's got the fundamentals there, that's for sure. An exhibition bird, and it's nice as well because I quite like the green ones. Most people are quite quick to move greens on because they're the dominant colour in budgies, but I actually really like the green ones. So that's this one. I'll give you a wee look at the blue one in just a second. So here's the nest mate, which is a sibling to it. Again, this one, I would put money on this one being a hen. You can tell that by, if you look at its nostrils, there's a lot of white round it, and that's usually a sign that it's a hen. No sitting up quite properly, but it is still young. It's a couple of days younger than the green one. Again, you know, looking okay, quite decent. a sky blue, normal sky blue that is. Try and keep my focus on, sorry about that. But nonetheless, doing great, which I'm really happy about. As I say, despite that cold, they've been being looked after and doing really well. So I'll move on and show you pair 5 next. So pair 5, if you remember, Opaline Spangle Sky Blue and Cinnamon Spangle Sky Blue. You can see how dirty she is. She's been doing a lot of feeding. This bird's been a great mother. She has sat on these young chicks, and I mean they were young if you remember for the last video, right through this -11 nonsense that we've been getting. And this was the pair that I really did fear we would have problems with, because the chicks were so young, in that cold, you know, with the water starting to freeze and stuff like that. But sometimes you do get good news in this hobby, and that is that these 3 chicks are doing absolutely brilliant. There they are there. They've had their closed rings put on their feet as well. They are doing really well, so you can see them starting to get the down feathers, and you can even see on the wings and stuff the little quills starting to come through. So I'll give you just a quick look at them because it is still cold, so I'll put them back and let her sit on them, warm them up. But yeah, so far so good despite all that cold weather. Really, really happy and pleased about this one. So moving on to pair 6, we've got the grey green cock and the Opaline Cinnamon blue hen. If you remember, they had the oldest chick in the bird room, which was a green, a wee green one, and that bird has actually been put into the nursery flight as well, along with the Cinnamon Spangle Grey I was talking about earlier, which again I will get to showing you. So they've been split up for the parents. So they have been left, and she's gone back in the nest box. They've been left to get on with things, and I was actually going to split them up because of the weather that we've been having. But I came out and she'd started to lay again, obviously. I think we've seen that for the last video. So she's got 2 eggs. She had laid 6 eggs, but the first 4 were clear. Running through that cold and stuff, as I say, I feared the worst, that they would all be clear, in which case I would split them up. But the 5th egg is actually full. So the 6th egg is too early to tell, but I'm hoping that they'll both be full. You'll see there. Now I know there's 4 eggs in there, and I said that there's 2. That's because, sorry, my camera went off there. Yeah, so I was saying she had 2 eggs that were full. The other 2 eggs that are in here are actually being fostered from the other bird room in here. So to give her a full round, because as I say, her first 4 yet were clear, so her last 2 I think will be full. The 4th one is, the 5th one is yet to wait and see the 6th one. There she's popping her head out, looking where her eggs are. I'll just put them back. So basically, with her having hopefully 2 full eggs, the 2 I've fostered in for the other hut gives her a full round to sit on, and we'll see how she copes with that. Hopefully this weather stays sort of above the daft temperatures that we've been getting, and I'll let her go ahead. I mean, she seems fit enough, she seems keen, so we'll just see how it goes. So moving on to the last breeding pair at the minute. Sky blue cock, cinnamon grey green hen. I think the last time she was just going in and out the nest box and stuff. You can see that tail really flicking there, so that tells me she's got more eggs in her. So this pair, since the last update, have laid 2 eggs. Oh, wait a minute, we've got 3 eggs, so she's just laid literally in the last, well, since I first came in this hut, because I checked and she only had 2. So 3 eggs here. I think the first one's clear. To be honest with you, I'm actually expecting them all to be clear. 1, as I said, with the cold, and 2, I had this paired before and they were all clear. I wanted to try them again because they're really nice pair of birds and they get on really brilliant. So I'm probably pairing them up for, you know, hope's sake rather than being realistic. But as I say, they do get on really well, coat really well. I've never seen him treading her. We have had 1 bird off of him before that we've kept. He's just not a prolific breeder, and she was a bot hen, so we don't know much about her background. But I'll put these back in, obviously, with it being cold outside. So just to show you, they have got 3 eggs. The first one's clear and the other 2 are just too early to tell yet. Okay, so lastly then we've got the Nursery Flight, which has got our 2 birds in it, a cinnamon spangle grey and the green here that seems to be commanding that seed bowl. Having a bit of a sleep in it with a look at it. Come on, wake yourself up a wee bit. Let's see you. Oh, there you are, there you are. Oh, it's okay, it's only a camera. So as you can see, they're doing okay. I just moved them today actually. I wanted to leave them with the parents as long as I could, especially with that cold weather and stuff. So they've been doing really well. Not doing much at the minute because they've just been put in here this morning, so they're still sort of getting used to their surroundings and stuff. So I'm hoping they'll be okay. So that's pretty much it for this episode. In the breeding room. We'll see you in the next one. And if you enjoy, please like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for any future content. Thanks for watching.